So, men are the primary victims of war, yes or no?
I would say it affects everyone.
Okay.
But maybe it affects men first, and then
that's primary.
So primary?
Yeah.
But then it also affects, women who are,
But it's not as bad. Right, but it's not as bad, right?
If I get shot, if I get shot and killed, does it affect my mom as much as it affected me?
Well, I guess you wouldn't be here to be experiencing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Would I be I'd be the primary victim? You said like it can have a trickle effect, of course. Yeah, but primarily it would affect me because I'm the one who got shot, and she would just feel the effect.
But I think you're saying
emotionally.
In war, some women get essayed, is what you're going to say, right? Which is true.
Like
but typically, I'm not aware of any war where there are more women who get essayed than there are men who die. And I'd actually be prepared to say I've not studied every single war in the entirety of human history. I would be prepared to say that every single war, there have been more men who were casualties. Or I won't even say casualties. There are more men who died than there were women who were essayed.
I don't know the statistics for that, but...
Well, I mean, it's pretty easy. Typically, like women they flee the front line typically, and sometimes invading, it depends on the nature of the war, but invading countries sometimes do cross paths with, oftentimes cross paths with civilians. But like most people retreat into the interior of the country. Sometimes countries, an invading force will take over the entire country, but oftentimes the women and children will flee. They'll go to a different country. So there's just way more men who are encountering the actual combat, who are actually, being encountering the enemy, who would be the ones who would be essaying these women.
Like, look at Genghis Khan. There's like millions and millions.
He probably killed more people than...
Yeah.
Wait, I'm actually curious about this. It is kind of a heavy topic, but like, normally I frame it... What do you think is worse? 10 soldiers who die, 10 male soldiers who die, or one woman who gets essayed by a belligerent soldier?
I don't know how to answer that. That's like the train question. Like, do you kill your besties or like...
it's like the trolley dilemma. Which one's worse?
10 soldiers who die, but that's also like human history. I think on the show before they had talked about the greater male variability hypothesis, where like most men won't reproduce, basically successfully reproduce, and it's been like that throughout human history due to intersexual competition between men for women. So I think it's sad that men die so often, and you have men at like both ends of the bell curve. Like you have a high amount of men that are geniuses, and then you have a high amount of men that are intellectually disabled, like I was talking about earlier. But I think, and that's because of that competition. But I think, unfortunately, if you look at this morally and you have to choose one, you probably would say the men dying. Even though I feel like people in society would say the woman, though. Like they would say. How about we go around
the table? Go ahead.
Yeah.
Oh wait, the woman, not the woman. Sorry, the 10 soldiers dying would be worst.
Yeah, definitely. You're losing 10 lives.
Yeah, 10 soldiers.
Yeah, I think ethically 10 soldiers.
10 lives.
10 soldiers.
10 soldiers. Yeah.
Okay.
I've talked a lot today. Right,
no, it's okay.
On a podcast.
Essay does happen a lot in the military, but it also happens outside the military, you know what I mean? So
what about 1 for 1?
Like one man, one essay?
Yeah. One person killed versus one essay.
That's still one life right there.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah.
Does that make it more challenging for you, or?
A little bit, because I feel like the woman lives with that forever. In the same aspect, you could say the family of whose man that died that was also live with that forever. I don't.
Oh, I mean, I really to be charitable, a woman who's been essayed, that would be harmful also to the family.
Yeah, it would.
Like the brothers, fathers, mother, sister, that would be hurtful to them that their sister, child was victimized in that way.
Yeah.
But they could go to therapy. If a life got lost, there's nothing you can do. They can't get brought back.
Right.
You
Like-
could at least go to therapy for essay, and
You
not for
can-
nothing. There could be a lawsuit, and you could be rich also on top of that.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think...
You don't know.
People
I'm
die,
just
they're
saying.
gone.
I'm trying to think of a
I
positive.
don't know about that
Yeah.
argument, but I don't know if essay would ever be justified. Like,
You don't know. You never know.
I think though, and tell me if you think I'm wrong, because I feel like Brian and I may see eye to eye on this. Don't you think that this is going to sound bad?
wait, can I ask one favor? One favor. I want you,
To be concise.
but you include a lot of preambles when you speak. Like, you gave 2 preambles there.
Yeah.
Just say what you're going to say.
Okay.
You don't need a
I know.
preamble.
I know. It's because of my narcissism. I know.
I didn't. What? Are you a narcissist?
I like to mouth off.
No,
anyway,
but just say
so
what
I was
you're
gonna say. I was gonna say.
Yeah.
So do you think that whether sexual assault has happened is like relative to the individual? Like, do you think it's based on perception? Does that make sense? I'm trying to play devil's advocate here, because a lot of the Me Too stuff, there were accusations coming out, right? And it was like no due process. And so
I think there's false accusations.
Yeah.
But
But
I think there is like an objective standard to, like, has this person been essay? I think yes.
Mm-hmm.
But what's the question?
No, I'm asking whether you think that somebody could, like, believe that, like, a man raping them is the same as, like, being groped or touched. Like, if they would be equated, like, as equal types of sexual assault. I'm just playing devil's advocate. I'm saying, do you think it's as bad? Do you think that rape?
Please don't. We told you not to say that word.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Say
I'm sorry.
rape or essay.
I'm sorry. Sexual assault. I'm sorry.
What is your question?
You know what? It's fine.
No. Oh my God. Now you're gonna say it because just say it. Go ahead.
Okay. Do you think that I'm playing devil's advocate. Do you think that some women maybe...
No, you're asking me a hypothetical question. What is your devil's advocate position?
So that maybe some people, some women, if they're on drugs, maybe they imagine the fact that they're sexually assaulted, or they hallucinate the situation.
Are you asking me if this is a phenomenon that happens? Yes.
Yes.
Is that your question?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, even women can go to therapy, and there's this certain thing where, like, the therapist will, like, introduce, what is it, what's that? Do you know what it's called?
Remission?
They go to therapy, and it's like past memory. Chat, can anybody in the chat?
You talking about repressed?
Chat, anybody in the chat know what I'm talking about? They go to a therapist, fucking hypnosis or some bullshit.
Eye movement, desensitization, realization.
Yeah.
No, it's like a repressed memory.
Yeah, that's what I
repressed
just said.
memories.
Repressed memory.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think, like, some of that can be inserted. There is a phenomenon where a memory can be inserted into
like
somebody.
false memory. It's like a memory that
Like
can be inserted.
It's also
is
true.
false memory.
It's
They
also
do that,
true
but-
that, like, generational trauma can be passed on in that way. So say, like, your mom went through something like that and you didn't necessarily, but just based off of maybe you heard it in the background, or, like, you can feel like it happened to you as well.
Is it like confabulation or something? Like you're
I forgot
confabulating
exactly
an
what
idea?
that's called, but it's
I'm
a
not sure if
form
it
of,
would be
like,
confabulation. I get what you're saying, but I don't actually think it happens like that. It's more so like it can change, like, stress responses. It can alter
Yeah.
stress responses genetically. That would be
yeah.
the basis of it.
There's a Wikipedia article on memory implantation as a technique used
Right.
in cognitive psychology to investigate human memory. In memory implantation studies, researchers make people believe that they remember an event that actually never happened.
That's the false memory.
False memories that have been successfully implanted in people's memories include remembering being lost in a mall as a child, taking a hot air balloon ride, among other things, which could be both good and bad. So I don't know.
I don't think they do that. I don't know if they do that in therapy. I do know that's a cognitive psychological phenomenon.
There are some therapists that will like.
I'm not a therapist.
They'll implant memories. It happens.
No, there's sociologist Richard blah blah blah, an expert on false memories due to coercive interrogations as well as suggestive therapies. I don't know. I'm not an expert in that. What is your question though?
I want to make sure that I word it correctly because I think it's a sensitive subject.
Don't preamble. Just say it.
Okay. No, I mean, that's what I was asking. I was asking whether you think that some females hallucinate their sexual assault experience.
Are you cooked?
Sexual assault experience. I said rate. R-A-T-E.
I told. What?
I said.
She said. Okay. Now I'm being gaslit here.
Okay.
You did not say rate. Total gaslighting. What the fuck?
Right then, yeah, I didn't say.
Just say grape or essay, please.
Okay. Yeah, it's fine. Let's move on.
Why are you bringing that up though? I'm just. What are you trying to get a gotcha?
No, I'm wondering, like, what you think about, like, if you think people's perceptions, like, formulate how we are dealing with this situation, because there wasn't any due process that was going on during Me Too. No one was investigating these accusations, and I'm just wondering, if you think that some people...
Whoa, hold on. You're saying that any woman who brought forth a allegation of SA prior to Me Too, which is like, what, 2017? It was never taken seriously. Mm-hmm. No man has ever been convicted of a sex crime until 2017. Mm-hmm. You're actually cooked. I don't mean to be insulting, but that is such a just factually incorrect thing to say. Mm-hmm. So you think if I were to present evidence to you that says in 2000 there's hundreds, if not thousands, of criminal cases that have been prosecuted, and there was a prosecution, and there are men who are in prison from the 90s, 80s, 70s, 60s who were prosecuted correctly for sex crimes. You think sex crimes have not been prosecuted until 2017? Yeah.
They have. I'm saying...
You literally just said, no, they haven't.
No, I'm saying that when Me Too started, it's kind of like you could just come out and say that somebody sexually assaulted you, and then they would get, like a lot of hate for that without any kind of due process happening. I'm not saying that it didn't go on. There was a lot of due process prior to that, but I'm wondering, as a society, like what kind of direction we're heading in terms of that being a thing. Because we don't know if people are just imagining these events. I'm not saying that I agree with that. I'm saying that there could be some people that, maybe they had a false memory implanted, because that does happen in therapy.
Or they make a false accusation.
Yeah, or they make a false accusation.
Yes, does that happen? But also, are there women who are genuinely essayed? Yes, absolutely.
Of course, yeah.
I don't understand why.
No,
are you trying to get a gotcha? What are you doing?
No, I just wanted to hear how you were thinking about all this, because, we were kind of talking about it. I'm not trying to get anyone upset. I'm just...
But... I don't know what you're... Okay. Just I'm kind of annoyed, not gonna lie. I just need to step away for a second.
Okay. I'm sorry.
Bro, be crashing out.
Huh? Bro, it's just like... I don't know. Somebody else want to fucking talk? I'm just...
Yeah.
I don't really know how to follow that.
Yeah, I don't really.
Don't know where to go from here.
My goal is really
What's
to
the
just get
next
people
question?
to think. That's all.
What's the next question?
Has anyone experienced love at first sight? Or do you believe in it?
Yes.
No.
I believe in attachment at first sight. I don't think you can really love someone just by laying eyes on them.
What is attachment at first sight?
So it's called limerence. It's just like when you see someone and for no reason.
Infatuation?
Yeah, like for no reason you become obsessed with them, usually because of like...
There's a reason.
Well, yeah, there's usually some type of situation that happened in your life that made you attracted to that person, like so obsessed with that person that you feel like you need to...
Positive illusions.
Yeah.
You have an idea of who that person is in your
like
head.
you build a perception
fantasize,
of them up in your head and put them on this pedestal and like,
Yeah, okay.
So, I believe in that. I think in order to like really love someone, you have to, spend time with them. That's really it.
Okay.
Do you want to talk about necrophilia too while we're... Is there any other kind of heavier topics? You want to talk about child abuse? What else do you want to talk about?
No, I'm sorry.
Yeah?
I'm sorry.
Trafficking? We could talk about trafficking too while we're at it. What do you want to talk about?
No, I've been talking a lot. I want to hear you
talk. Want to talk about Michael Jackson? What do you want to talk about?
Michael Jackson.
Still very much alive.
Oh boy. Okay. All right. Okay, here, I'm gonna move it on. All right. There is no gender wage gap. Toria, you disagree. Anybody else disagree? No gender wage gap. Laura, you think there's a gender wage gap. Carrie, you think there's a gender wage gap. Okay. Why?
I mean, you said it earlier, 80 cents to $1.
Oh, I don't believe that.
You don't believe
that it exists. That's true.
Why? What is the evidence?
Well, first, you tell me what the gender wage gap is.
For the same job, women will be getting paid less, or for example, they'll inherit some kind of company or whatever, and then it tanks once they inherit it, or it's like at the war, or
inherited companies in the war. Hold on. Let me let a couple chats come through. I'll come back to it.
Kmurf 594 donated $200. Drug test these broads. Care 7, we're thinking you are retarded.
It's okay. We're all a little bit R-slurred. I'm R-slurred too. It's all good. We have something in common, I guess. The next one. I'm just waiting for the next one to come.
Claim donated $200.
Shit.
Big head, small brain starting to make sense. In case no one covered it, 14th Amendment was about slavery, while 19th was women's right to vote. No conscription ever brought up. Where is Andrew?
Oh, Clayne, welcome back. Yeah, I don't know, man. Andrew would be losing his mind right now. He'd be fucking chain smoking. I'll tell you that much. Okay. Yeah. Good talk. Yeah. Okay. Wage gap. What's the wage gap?
I think it's shifted, honestly, because I think there's been more opportunities for women to make more money. Mm-hmm. So I feel like it's almost shifted in a way. Kind of like what I was talking about earlier.
Sure. You think there's a wage gap?
Yeah, I know there's a wage gap, but it's not for the same reasons, that I think maybe other people here think it exists for. It definitely is there, though, but it's because women and men go into different jobs and they work different hours. It's not there for a prejudiced reason, I'd say. But it does exist.
Yeah. I agree with you.
Yeah.
I think the differential here is if we use the term wage gap, it indicates that it's sort of like a snuck in, it's a bit loaded, because with the wage gap, it's indicating, okay, well, the person with the same exact job, same all other criteria, they're being paid way less. There's an earnings gap between men and women. An earnings gap, because what the wage gap, which is really an earnings gap, does is it takes all the money that men make, all the women that money make, and it just does a one-to-one comparison. It doesn't factor in hours worked, type of job, location, geography. education received prior to that. It doesn't factor in any of those variables. It's just like all the women in the United States who are working versus all the men in the United States who are working. It's totally unfair to do that sort of comparison. Men go into different fields. And so if you actually do the control for it, it shrinks to 1 cent. It's just 1 cent. If you do same job, they've been in the field the same time, working at the same company, it shrinks to just 1 cent.
Right.
And also, I think the gender, even if there was a gender wage gap, which there isn't, it would just be explained away by women's mating preferences.
Probably. Yeah.
Interesting.
You want a guy who makes $100,000. You're currently broke. If I'm broke, I definitely can't date a girl who makes $100,000. Women typically, when they're high earners, they want to date a guy who's on their level or above, who's making as much as them or above. A guy who's an attorney, actually, here's a really interesting thing I just thought about the other night, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong. A woman who makes enough money, so you guys know how, I'll get right back to that, but you guys know how typically for most families, it's going to require 2 incomes. It's going to take 2 incomes to have like kids and raise a family, right?
Yeah.
For a lot of people, that's the economic reality. There's going to need to be 2 incomes. Once a woman gets into the range though, where she could support a family on her own. So conceivably, she makes so much money, well, maybe not, you don't need to make so much money to do that, but she makes enough money that she could have her husband stay at home. Not saying she would want that, but she could. She makes enough money where he wouldn't need to work and they would be okay. Once she makes enough money to do that, she's going to be looking to date a guy who can also do that. So really high earning women get into a problem there, more so than women who make a little bit less, who would pair off with a guy who he probably would be helpful financially to pair off with a woman who's also working. Once a woman makes that level of money, she wants to date guys who they can support a family on a single income. Those women are in real hot water because that guy, he can support a family on 1 income. He doesn't need your money at all. He doesn't care at all. But those women want to date those men. Those women and those women who are probably earning that much are very career driven. A woman who's earning enough money to support a family just on her income are probably very career driven, probably boss babes, probably a little bit in their masculine.
A little bit.
Yeah. So the guy who he's making enough money to be able to support a family on his own, he's thinking, I can support a family on my own. I don't need her money. I'm going to go date a girl who's going to prioritize me and the family and not be so focused on her career. So that leaves a bunch of women who earn this level of money with a lack of prospects, because the guys who can support a family on their income, he doesn't need you. He's going to go date a barista. He's going to date a woman who wants to be a stay-at-home mom, who's not prioritizing her career over family and kids. I don't know. That thought crossed my mind recently.
Comments?
But also, when it comes to the wage gap, you guys want men to pay for first dates. This would explain away the wage gap. You want men who are successful. You're attracted to ambition. You're attracted to men who work hard. When it comes to men occupying positions of like CEO jobs, men who are executives, men who are at the highest echelons of corporate life, men who occupy the more prestigious jobs, you guys are attracted to that. You guys reward that. But you as women, our attraction to women is never based on your status or your success. We don't care. We'll date the hot 20-year-old who works at Chick-fil-A. Don't care. Like, no, oh my God.
Yeah.
She's a VP at a court. Don't care. It doesn't make a woman more attractive. It could be a plus in terms of, like, if you're bringing some money to the table, it can be a plus, but like at what cost? Because most guys, like, if you're a boss babe, You're an ICU nurse who's like seeing people die and shit. Trauma. Hello.
So, I don't know. So I was in a relationship, a very healthy relationship, where my ex kind of lost his job for 3 months, and I was a travel nurse, so I was making like really good money at that time, and he was very upset that they just happened to just the job let him go, and it wasn't his fault. Like, he was a contract. He was a third-party contract, and I felt really bad for him, and I was like, and he was constantly searching for jobs. Like, he had a master's degree in like homeland security. He was trying to find a really good job in that field, and I completely understand that. And I kind of like, we took care of him and us together, and like in our apartment, like paid our bills. Like, he paid his own bills, but like I kind of like took care of us until he was able to get back on his feet, and he did get back on his feet. But like, I didn't look for anyone else. I kind of like supported him, and I support him emotionally as well. I was like, just trying to make him feel better. And also, like, my current boyfriend, we've talked about our salary. He makes way less than I do. And I didn't know that until after we met, and after, and I really don't care. Like, because like, I know I can support myself, but I'm not trying to like show that off.
Wait, didn't you say your last boyfriend, he lost his job and you had to hold it down?
Yeah, for like 3 months.
And then you dumped him?
No, we broke up. No, my first boyfriend was the one that I dumped. It was a 4-year relationship. And then my last boyfriend,
You were taking care of him?
When he lost his job, yeah, because we were together. We were living in an apartment.
Wait, how long were you together?
3 years, the second
And then
one.
He lost his job. And then
after two years of us being together. And
so you stayed together for a year after he lost his job? Or how soon after he lost his job did the breakup happen?
Yeah, we broke up, I think, about a year after.
He lost his job?
Yeah, because we broke up for personal reasons. I was still more career driven, and he was too. And he lives in Alabama, and I live in Massachusetts. We met when he was in Massachusetts, and then I was traveling, and I stopped traveling to go into critical care, and long distance was not working for us. We've tried it before when I was a travel nurse, and it just...
Travel nurse?
Yeah, I was a travel nurse for a couple of years when we were together. So we broke up because it wasn't going to work out long distance and stuff like that. So not because of financial reasons at all. Like, we never argued about our finances. And I never put that on him.
Mm-hmm. So you chose your career over the relationship?
Correct, yeah. Mm-hmm. And so this time around, with my current boyfriend, I'm not doing that. Like, I'm at home. I want to get married. I want to have kids. I want to have a house. Like, I'm 30. Like, I'm ready to settle. And, I'm kind of like comfortable where I'm at. Of course I'd want to further my education. Like, I'd like to like be a nursing professor one day, or go into like flight nursing or something like that. But I can multitask. I can do that while I'm at home. I can take online classes, and be with someone. Like, I stopped because I was in a healthy relationship before with this ex-boyfriend, and I gave that up because I wanted to go.
In terms of both of your with the guy you're currently seeing, in terms of both of your career trajectories, are you going to make more than him?
Oh yeah, 100%.
You're okay with that?
Like, I don't judge. Like, I was into him before I knew our finances.
Genuine desire.
Yeah, and honestly, like, he treats me very well. It's another healthy relationship. He's very respectful. Like, he takes care of my needs. I'm a needy person.
You're needy?
I'm a princess sometimes. Yes, I can. I can. Like, I work 12-hour shifts. Like, I would like someone to take care of me. I want someone to cuddle me. I want someone to like take care of me as well. Especially if I don't take care of myself. Like, how can I take care of other people if I don't take care of myself, emotionally, physically, mentally? Like, I need someone there.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like, it's and the fact that he caters to those kind of needs that I can't do myself, I appreciate that. Like, I don't care about your finances at all.
Okay.
No, I really don't. And if anything happens, I know that I can cover both of us, provide for both of us.
I think that's a good narrative, because outside of the internet, I don't think a lot of people are aware that it's actually not as serious or as highly prevalent as we like to talk about it, act like women don't date men when they make less, or act like if once a guy loses his job that the relationship ends abruptly right then and there, because that's not the case. I mean, obviously, if you're in a relationship, then you guys have probably communicated. You know the status of your finances. You know what you have planned for one another. You know what you see the outlook of the relationship being. So, of course, any intelligent woman, when you hit, you know, potholes, bumps in the road, whatever the case may be, you're going to stick by your man for as long as you know you can before you're overwhelmed and say, okay, this is not working. And I don't think a lot of guys out there understand that, you know, so it's good that you were able to demonstrate that based on your situation.
I think it also proves a point too, that the whole time he was working towards it, it's not like he got comfortable just living off of you, and that's a big difference too, because and that goes for a woman as well. As soon as you get comfortable living off of that person, that's where it becomes kind of like, okay, now this is
you're
the situation everybody talks about, like this is the problem. But if you're actively working towards it and you know that person can build, you know they're driven to do so, absolutely stick to it, like absolutely.
Anybody else have any thoughts?
Brian wants me to ask a spicy question.
Hey.
I don't have any though, but do you guys have any that come to mind?
I thought he had a spicy question.
No, he wants me to ask a spicy question. I could ask about how you guys think about cheating culture.
Cheating culture. I've never been cheated on, and I've never cheated. And sorry, I don't. Sorry.
You're good. You're good.
And I kind of brought that firsthand in the relationship. It's like I don't want to get hurt because I don't think I'm a hurtful person at all, and I don't feel like I deserve that in general. So I would 100% expect my partner to not do it, and that's what I talked about with my previous relationships and my current one as well. And just we both agree on terms, like no one wants to get cheated. Like that sucks.
I got a question. I saw this video yesterday, and they were going around asking women and men if the Grim Reaper came to your door and offered to take you or your husband, who would you tell the Grim Reaper to take?
Me.
And we can start right here and go around.
This is
the
kind
Grim
of like the
Reaper's not taking me.
So your husband?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's not taking me.
Okay. What about you?
Husband.
I'd say take me.
Take you?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like the bullet question.
It is.
Yeah, and I have the same answer.
What was your answer for the bullet question?
I wouldn't expect my partner to do anything, but I know I would. I would go. I would take me, you know.
You would take you?
But I would want my partner to do the same.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd want me.
You? Okay.
Yeah, with the bullet question, it was more like I just want you to protect me when there's like an emergency. But if the Grim Reaper came to me, I would say me for two reasons. One, because like, okay, he's gonna take the bullet, I'll take the Grim Reaper. But two, I think I could talk my way out of it. Like I'd be like,
no, seriously though?
Like, hey, I'd be like, come on, Mr.
You think you could talk your way out of the Grim Reaper? I'll tell you what's working in your disadvantage, because the Grim Reaper's still male. He'd be like, hey, you gotta give it up if you want. And if you ain't doing that, then he's swiping you anyway.
Oh my god. Yeah. So I would myself, basically.
Yourself?
That's all I'll say. Yeah.
If it's my time, it's my time.
Yeah.
But it don't have to be your time. It could be your husband's time.
But like I agree with her. The same thing. Like the bullet thing is like protection. This is like I'd rather like I put myself than my husband.
Oh, okay.
I feel like I feel like my husband will be a better like provider and protector for the kids.
Okay. So the women who chose husbands, y'all don't love y'all husbands?
I don't want a husband.
You don't want a husband?
I don't want a husband, so I'm gonna take it.
Oh damn. Well, I guess you don't love your husband?
I don't really want to get married, but I do have something to say though, which is interesting.
Yes.
I forgot her name. The Monroe piercing.
Oh, maybe
I have a question for you. Yeah. Sorry, Carrie. So you said you would take your husband or not take your husband?
No, I wouldn't take my husband.
You wouldn't?
No.
But
okay. So no, if I could pick, I would pick me, not him. Yeah.
Okay. But the thing that's a little interesting to me, you said that like you never loved a man, and that whole love thing, like I don't know, like, it's interesting to me if the whole, like, it's your husband, you have kids, but you don't love him, like, you feel like you're gonna end up with someone that you don't love. Technically, by saying pick you over your husband, that actually is love. Mm-hmm. So that's where I'm a little confused.
Sacrifice.
Yeah, because I think that I like to take risks, and I mean, I guess that would be love, you know.
Yeah, no, that would be.
It's an act of love, but I think, you know, I would do it just because I would like to take on the Grim Reaper, and you know, and be like, I don't know, like encounter the Grim Reaper. I don't know. I think about it that way. Like, I don't really, because if my husband dies, I don't know. I mean, I'm an agnostic, so it's kind of like when you're dead, you're dead. Like, it's not like I'm gonna be able to talk to your spirit or something like that.
Yeah, but you get to pick. Like, technically, love, like real love, in my opinion, love is pain, love is sacrifice. Yeah. Like real morals.
Yeah, so. Yeah. I mean, like I said, you know, I would like. Well, I mean, I would want to. And also, I'm like super tired right now. I think it's like the intention behind the act. I just think that it would be really cool to like take on the Grim Reaper. I mean, I'm looking at it that way, but I see what you're saying. Yeah. Because, you know, if you love someone, then you sacrifice yourself for them. And also, maybe I should have looked at the question more seriously.
Yeah, I mean, you said it in kind of a loving way. I thought you loved your husband for a second.
I mean, like I said, it's like love is a complicated thing, you know. Like, I have "All You Need Is Love" tattooed on my torso, and after the Beatles song, and you know, it's like I mean, it can mean a lot of things, I feel like. So, like, I can demonstrate acts of love for somebody. Again, I don't think that it necessarily equates to seeing that person as like this like perfect entity that like doesn't do anything wrong, and you know, and I also think of it
but that's perfect. That's not love. I would argue that the opposite is actually love.
If you're like infatuated with somebody though,
but if you reference an infatuation, and we both understand that that's not love. If you're talking about you know the person's flaws and you know everything about them, what's wrong with them, and you still accept them anyway,
that's love.
Well, okay, if that's how you're defining love, then
how else would you define love?
Well, I would also think of like empathy, because somebody who, I feel like love comes with empathy, and
do you not have empathy for people
you would have empathy for the person expecting all.
Well, if she's a narcissist, she don't.
No, I'm looking at this from like I guess maybe I'm looking at this like too scientifically. I don't know, because you know there are different types of empathy. There's cognitive empathy, which is what like, you know, a lot of people have, and then there's emotional empathy, which is entirely different. That's like vicarious emotional experience with the individual. So that's like you can't help but feel what the other person is feeling. I feel like that type of empathy is like synonymous with love, where like when they feel pain, you feel pain. When they feel happy, you feel happy. When you feel sad, or when they feel sad,